just me and Mike today. We want to do a special one, guys, because we wanted to talk about possible plans for reopening and all that kind of stuff. Obviously, you've probably all seen in the news various things about other places opening up. I've just saw this morning that they're talking about gyms reopening, swimming pools, things like that. And I also know from speaking to some of the other G4 guitar schools, a couple of them in the UK are planning on opening back up later this month. If you've not seen it already, I did put a poll in the Facebook group about your preferences for staying online or doing, going back to in-person lessons. So after this, or if you're watching it later on, please do go and add your preferences to that poll, because it would really help us to decide what we're going to do. So the first thing really that I need to let you all know is that we are, at the moment, we are essentially homeless. I gave notice in at the hub a couple of months ago, I guess. It became very clear to me quite early on that those rooms just would not be suitable for us to go back for the foreseeable future, especially now with all the social distancing things in place. Obviously, they're quite small rooms. They insisted that we soundproofed them, which resulted in them, as I'm sure many of you will remember, being very hot, very stuffy. There's no ventilation in those rooms. So really, for the foreseeable future, they wouldn't be suitable for us to do anything in at all. There were various other issues with that premises, to be honest, that I was kind of struggling with. Obviously, there was the heat in the rooms, especially for the guys teaching in there for 6 or 7 hours at a time. There was the lack of access, so the fact that I had to go in just to kind of sit on the desk and press a button when there was lots of other things I could have been doing. And I know many of you guys were finding it difficult to find parking, because of where it was. So we're no longer at the hub. In fact, they're dilapidating the rooms as we speak. So if we were to reopen, we would need to find new premises. It's not a bad situation to be in, but obviously it might take us a little while to do. And what I don't want to do is jump into something, that may not be suitable. So that's the kind of first issue with the hub. Now, in terms of a new full-time premises, again, I'm mindful about the way that this thing is developing. There is a threat of a second wave coming later in the year. Obviously we're going to go into a massive recession. So I don't think that really putting a lot of money into somewhere at this point is going to be very smart for us to do financially. But obviously, if enough of you come back and say, yeah, we really want to go back to in-person lessons, then I'll rethink that. For me personally, I really think that the online lessons have kind of given us an opportunity to implement things that we, certainly from my point of view, had been planning to do anyway, but just never found the time to do. And then also other things like this that we, perhaps only thought about doing since we've been online. We have had a lot of good feedback about the online lessons. We've got things like the YouTube channel. Students seem to be progressing a lot better. There seems to be much more communication going on. Mike, I don't know if you've got any thoughts on that, being in the front line with the lessons.
I think there's pros and cons to the actual teaching, and in fairness, probably more pros, because of something I really like is how when we take turns in the class, actually listening to one person and that person having to take that responsibility like they're performing already is really, really good. Being able to go in close on the music and kind of write on it and make notes, that's really good. The only things which aren't as good are actually if I'm doing chords with a whole group of people, face to face, I can tell if anyone's really struggling instantly. And because I can't hear everyone, I'm not able to, which is, but I think that can be completely solved and cured by people taking advantage of recording themselves playing the exercises or anything and sending it to me and Jimmy to have a look at. So I think the mixture of that with the pros of the online lessons is, I think it's really, really good overall, for sure. Really, really, really good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. That said, I do know that a lot of people are missing the in-person interaction. I think especially for, people like, I see Andy's just joined, people like Andy, people like Sev, Kylie. Those are the people who are used to kind of playing as part of a group and learning songs together and things like that. And I miss that as well. I mean, that was always my favourite part of what we did, the performances, the jam sessions, all that stuff. So that's something that we can definitely look at, and that's something that we can definitely do in the future. And in fact, what I am planning on doing is over the summer doing a couple of in-person events. So kind of like, I don't know, I haven't really thought fully about exactly how they'll look, but kind of like a cross between workshops, so just kind of playing songs together. So, we don't necessarily do the exercises and stuff, but we might say, okay, if you're a junior 1 student, come in and we can hire a big hall and we can all have plenty of space between each other. And, we can play some songs suitable for junior 1, and we can do that for the different levels and, all that kind of stuff. So that's something I'm actually looking at a couple of venues. I found a really nice place in South Norwood that I'm going to go and visit tomorrow. And I was just telling Mike, what was the Charles Cryer Theatre in Carshalton, which is a venue that's very close to my heart because I did some of my very first gigs there when I was a teenager. I know that they're hiring rooms as well. So something like that, maybe once a month, we can see how they run. We can, see how popular they are, and that's something that we can then gradually increase. And obviously that'll give us time then to see how the wider situation is going, whether we do get a second wave, whether there's another lockdown, or, whether things start gradually getting back to normal. And I think that would also give us time as well to not rush into immediately finding a new place. We can test a few places out, and obviously, there'll be people coming from different areas. So we want to look at things like, is it convenient for the students to get to? Is there parking? All that kind of stuff. So I'm actually really, really looking forward to putting these together. We just need to think about logistics, like, what day would we do it on? How would it impact with, online lessons that people are already having? That's kind of what we're thinking about doing for the immediate future. I've noticed a few people have made some comments here, guys, so I'm just going to have a little look at these.
Yeah, we've had Jason and Sev, and thanks for this, guys, commenting here. Firstly saying that they really like the convenience of the online lessons and cutting out the travel time. And then Sev also put in as well, she would like, though, once a week kind of in-person session for the songs classes, so when we play songs. And that's something that's something we've missed, which that's something I do miss, like you were saying, about getting together and making a sound together as well, and that group vibe. So exactly all the things you've been saying about having somewhere where we can go to once a month or twice a month or eventually once a week, where we can do all those things. And from my side as well, if at first it was once a month, that'd be great for me, because of the lessons online during the month would be leading up to making the most of and having the most fun that we can possibly have when we do meet up together.
Yeah, definitely.
It won't be like we're here to kind of have fun, enjoy playing together and learn. It's more like we've done all our learning, and then we're just going to go and kind of let loose and have some fun and play some songs.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think that'd be great, actually. Yeah. And then Jason asks, are there any issues to audio lag anymore? Yeah, unfortunately, yes. I mean, I know there are people working on this because I read a lot of blogs and stuff on this, and I'm sure that probably in the not too distant future it will be solved. But obviously it's all to do with the different qualities of people's internet connections. So, we could have a really good connection, you could have a really good connection, but if the other people in the lesson haven't, it's all going to be coming through at slightly different times, but I'm sure there are some very clever people who are working on this, really. Yeah, perhaps a maximum of 5 or 6 online. Yeah, definitely. I mean, we try to keep to that, Sev, but obviously because we've implemented this thing now where people can attend multiple lessons, the idea is that you have your kind of core lesson that you come to, and then anybody else who comes to that lesson is really just sitting in. But I know because Mike and Jimmy are so nice and they want to please everybody, they don't necessarily always stick to that. Thank you, Jason. Yeah, keeping us financially afloat for the time being, very good, is way more important than being face to face. Thank you. Yeah, and absolutely, Gemma. I think you know, definitely for the kids. I know that a lot of the kids are really struggling with the lack of face to face interaction. We've lost a couple of the younger students, you know, because I think they just couldn't cope with the online lessons, which is absolutely fair enough. It's all just a question of kind of keeping that balance, really, and for us, you know, just continuing to make the actual lessons as good as we can. I think also, like as a lot of you are saying, you know, some of you do actually prefer the online lessons. It's interesting because if we just suddenly decided we were going to do this, I wonder how many people would have embraced it. But because we were kind of forced to, it was either that or nothing. I think it's worked really, really well. So, you know, obviously that is testament to Mike and Jimmy for doing such a good job, but also to you guys as well for being open to doing them, which is great. And also, of course, since we've been in lockdown, we've actually taken on some students from outside the area. I mean, one of our students is based in Scotland. Mm-hmm. I don't quite know how that happened. I think that must have been a glitch on the on the Facebook ad. But you know, she's doing great, isn't she, Mike? And enjoying the lessons. And there's no way they'd be able to commute into Croydon for a half-hour lesson.
No, in Edinburgh, I think. Yeah, but yeah, Excel, she's doing fantastically, really well.
Yeah. Say things do miraculously go back to normal over the next few months. I think we will still keep an online option open for those who want it. So, you know, eventually we'd like to be able to do both. One thing that we've been looking at as well for the online lessons, which I think will improve the experience, is that there's a new app that's come out called Rock Out Loud. It was actually developed by a guy who runs a music school who did exactly the same thing that we did. You know, he had a very large school with multiple instruments, and he was getting frustrated with the sound quality on Zoom and all of the hoops that you have to jump through to make sure that we can hear you and all that stuff. And he actually developed his own app, which is like an alternative to Zoom, but specifically for music studios. So we had a little play around with this on Wednesday, didn't we, Mike, in our meeting? Mm-hmm. And I think, you know, there's a few things, because it's still in its very early development, there's a few things that they're still working on with it, but they're basically going to try and give us all the functionality of Zoom with a much better quality of sound. So you can literally just log on and you won't have to faff around with your settings to make sure we can hear you, because those settings will already be there. This is something that we'll maybe test out with different groups first before moving everybody over to it. But yeah, so that's actually really exciting, because I don't think it will solve the lag issue, but it will definitely solve a lot of issues with connectivity and the overall sound quality that you're getting as well. So we're really looking forward to trying that out. A couple of people have asked me if we're going to be doing anything extra over the summer, which is lovely actually, because every summer I do try and do extra stuff, but I think often because everyone's on holiday and, you know, we don't get a huge amount of take up for it. So we would like to. I mean, we are already doing a whole bunch of extra stuff actually, and I mean, I guess if you're watching this, that means that you're in the Facebook group and you're engaged and you know what we're doing. But maybe if you're not, or if you're watching this on YouTube later, you know, just to give you a kind of update, you can attend more lessons than your usual lesson, so you can attend multiple lessons. You can send WhatsApp videos to Mike and Jimmy. Mike and Jimmy have both now got their own email address and phone number, so you can contact them directly. You can send them playing videos. Mike, I know you said this has been good for you, particularly for the reading stuff. Is that right?
Yeah, they're really good for everything, really, everything, really everything. Because of I don't get to, you know, seeing someone face to face. I don't really get to see them play it the same way again and again and again. But there's been some videos where I've been like, it doesn't sound as good as it should. But and why is that? And I've been able to watch it a few, so I can be really analytical about kind of the way they've played the exercise, whoever it is. And then what's really good is it's very easy then for me on the phone just to record a response. It's you know, very quick and easy, and again, it's something that the student can watch again and again and again. I've said to a few people, it's kind of like having their own personal YouTube channel. It's like watching a YouTube like video on how to play something, and then the video stops and says, "Oh, you're doing this bit incorrectly, and you're doing this bit really well," and then they can rewatch it again and again and again. So, I would love it. The people I follow and watch on YouTube to get tips from, if I had them responding and telling me what to do, oh my, I don't know what I'd give to have that. I'd definitely pay a lot of money for that. So I really encourage everyone to use that as much as they can.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, I think that's really useful, you know, if there are connectivity problems, if you can't get into a lesson, or if there's a lot of people in your class and you want to show something and you're not able to, you know, please make use of that, because that is all included in, you know, what you're paying. And obviously Mike and Jimmy are making extra time to do that as well. Obviously these Q&As that we're doing on a Friday, I mean, these are a lot of fun. I really enjoy them. We've got our YouTube channel up and running now. Obviously we're uploading these there, and we've also got loads of old performances. You know, I know Mike's done some song tutorials and stuff. We're going to try and do some more of those, I think. Lots and lots of bonus lesson material. And guys, all these links are included in the email that I send you every Monday, which I know is a bit clunky, and we should probably have a dedicated web page for this stuff. That again is something that I'm planning on doing. But yeah, all the links are in there. So again, don't just think you come to one lesson a week and that's it, because there's so much more. And of course, booking in for the odd private lesson as well. If you ask us for a private lesson and we've got space, we'll do it. So, you know, that's also for no extra charge. So what we could do in addition to that, and you know, bearing in mind, I think that we are all in need of a holiday. I mean, we haven't really had any proper time off since Christmas. We don't really want to be spending too much more time doing stuff. But one thing that I have thought about doing, and in fact I thought about doing when this all first happened, was having like a weekly song. So just posting a weekly song, and you know, giving the tab and the chords and the music and everything, and then saying to everyone, right, this is the song you're going to learn for this week. We can have, say, 3 different versions of it. You know, one for beginners, one for intermediates, one for more advanced players. And then you go off and learn it, and then you send us videos of you performing, and then we can put a bit like we did for the virtual recital. We can kind of splice those videos together, and then you know, at the end of the month or whatever, we can say, right, these are the songs that everyone's been learning. So that's something that I'm planning on doing. I think that would be good. The face-to-face meetups as well, which we're planning. So if anyone has got any other ideas for things that we can do over the summer, bearing in mind that we don't really want to be putting too much more work in, because obviously we're doing all this extra stuff for what you're already paying us. We don't really want to be charging you any more money, but obviously that much more work that Mike and Jimmy do. Oh, there he is. Speak of the devil, he's just turned up. Then I would need to pay them for that. So if there is anything else that you can think of, then please do let us know. Hi Jimmy. So Sev says there's a lot of hang on, just going back here. Sev said quite a few things here which are very nice. Sev says there's a lot of info in those emails. Yeah, I know, you're right. Perhaps a tutorial of what these links are all about and showing us. Well, actually, I did one of those back in April, Sev. But I'm happy to send it again, because yeah, I was mindful that not everybody was seeing those emails. I was mindful that not everybody was looking at those links. So I will hunt that out and I'll send it again. Yeah, it's just a video of me explaining what all those links are. But yeah, because there's not just our YouTube channel. There's the other G4 schools. They've all got some good stuff as well. So yeah, that was Seb says, oops, it's all right, well, this is part of the problem with not having everything in the same place. And again, that's another thing that I want to do. I want to have like a kind of dedicated portal, if you like, or member site or something, but that is going to take a lot of time to do. I mean, Seb, I'm sure you remember the days of Moodle, the great Moodle collapse of 2017. We spent a lot of time setting this thing up, and then the I think the hosting company went bust or something, and we lost it all. So yeah, that's another thing that I'm looking into as well at the moment. So Mike, that was all I wanted to say today. Obviously, yeah, guys, if you've got any ideas for stuff we can do over the summer, that's going to be kind of fairly easy for us to do. And please do put your preference in the poll. And Mike, did you have anything else to add?
No, nothing at all. No, it's all covered.
Seb says, no, don't worry, Seb, I'm not going back to Moodle. I've learned a lot of lessons over the last few years about various things, and yeah, Moodle was one of them. Don't worry, it will probably be linked to the website. I just need to figure out a way of doing it. So, all right then, guys. Well, thanks for joining us today, and thanks for all your lovely feedback and encouragement. And we will see you all soon. See you later.